Have you ever stared at a name in an email and felt the floor of your world just vanish? It wasn't a name I recognized, not a colleague, not a friend. It was Mark, and the subject line was our weekend. My wife Chloe had left her laptop open on the kitchen island, a glowing portal into a life I never knew she was living. The timestamp was from last Saturday, a day she told me she was at a yoga retreat upstate. My heart hammered against my ribs, a frantic drumbeat in the silent apartment. I could hear the shower running upstairs, her humming a tune she always hummed when she was happy. And 3 years of lies unspooled in a single, soul-crushing second. If you genuinely enjoy our stories, please subscribe to the channel, tell us where you're from and what time it is right now. It's always fascinating to know how far our story flows. The email was a thread, a digital tapestry of their affair. Pictures of them in a hotel room. I recognized the Ludlow, the same place I'd taken her for our 5th anniversary. Receipts for dinners on nights she claimed to be working late. A whole vocabulary of pet names and inside jokes that felt like a violation, a theft of the intimacy I thought was ours alone. My hands were shaking. I scrolled, my breath catching in my throat. It had started 3 years ago, just after we moved into our Chicago brownstone on North Dearborn Street. While I was renovating the house, pouring my sweat and savings into building our future, she was building a separate one with him. Her behavior, which I'd dismissed as stress, now snapped into sharp, painful focus. The late nights at the office, the sudden, frantic protection of her phone. The way she'd started looking at me, not with love, but with a cool, detached pity. She'd become a stranger in our bed, a ghost in our home. The worst part was the gaslighting. When I'd ask if something was wrong, she'd turn it on me. "You're being paranoid, James," she'd say, her voice dripping with manufactured concern. "Don't you trust me?" And like a fool, I did. I always did. The villains, Chloe and this phantom Mark, felt untouchable, wrapped in a cocoon of their own arrogance. They thought I was blind. They thought I was weak. That night, something inside me shattered. The loyal husband, the man who believed in forgiveness and second chances, died in front of that glowing screen. I closed the laptop, my movements slow, deliberate. When she came downstairs, wrapped in a towel, her hair damp, she smiled at me. "Hey, honey, what's for dinner?" I looked at her, at the woman I'd loved for a decade, and felt nothing but a cold, hollow void. I smiled back, a chilling replica of affection. "I was thinking of making your favorite," I said. It was in that moment, seeing the genuine, unsuspecting smile on her face, that a new man was born. A strategic, ruthless man who would not just expose her, but dismantle her world piece by piece. The first step was gathering proof. I hired a private investigator, a grizzled ex-cop who operated out of a dusty office in the Loop. I gave him Mark's name and the hotel receipts. Within a week, he gave me everything. Photos of Chloe and Mark leaving a restaurant in the West Loop, his arm slung casually around her shoulder, credit card statements detailing their trysts. He even had Mark's address, a sleek, soulless condo in River North. Mark was a partner at a rival investment firm, a man who oozed smug confidence in his LinkedIn profile picture. Next, the legal traps. I met with the sharpest divorce attorney in Chicago, a woman known for her scorched earth tactics. We structured the divorce filing to be executed at the precise moment of maximum impact. I quietly moved our joint assets into accounts she couldn't touch, citing a clause in our prenup about infidelity that she had laughed at when we signed it. As if that would ever happen, she'd said. The final stage was the social one. Chloe was a social climber, the chair of a major charity foundation in the city. Their annual gala, a massive event at the Art Institute of Chicago, was in 2 weeks. It was her crowning achievement, and it would be her undoing. I spent those 2 weeks playing the part of the doting husband, helping her choose her dress, listening to her practice her speech. The emotional strain was immense, a constant performance that left me drained and empty. But the thought of the endgame fueled me. The night of the gala was perfect. The air in the museum was thick with the scent of expensive perfume and ambition. Chloe was radiant in a shimmering silver gown, gliding through the crowd, accepting praise. I stood by her side, a ghost in a tuxedo. Her speech was scheduled for 9. At 1:45, I excused myself. Found the AV technician and handed him a USB drive. A last-minute addition to the presentation, I said, my voice calm, my hands steady. He nodded, none the wiser. Chloe took the stage to thunderous applause. The massive screen behind her lit up with the Foundation's logo. She began her speech, her voice smooth and confident. "Thank you all for being here tonight to support a cause so close to my heart," she began. And then the screen flickered. The Foundation logo was replaced by a photo. It was her and Mark, kissing on the balcony of the Ludlow Hotel, the New York skyline glittering behind them. A collective gasp rippled through the room. Chloe froze, her face a mask of horror. Another picture flashed a dinner receipt from Miami, dated during a week she was supposed to be visiting her sick mother. Then another, and another. A slideshow of her betrayal set to the haunting melody of the song we danced to at our wedding. The room was silent, then erupted in whispers. People were staring, their faces a mixture of shock and pity. Chloe stood there, exposed and broken under the harsh stage lights. She looked at me, her eyes pleading. I just stood at the back of the room, my expression unreadable, and gave a slight, almost imperceptible nod. Her world, so carefully constructed, had been utterly and completely ruined. She stumbled off the stage, her social status incinerated. The next morning, she was served with divorce papers. Her firm fired her. Her foundation asked for her resignation. She had nothing left. I never saw her again after the lawyers were done. Sometimes late at night I walk past that brownstone on North Dearborn Street. It's just a house now, no longer a home. The cold Chicago wind whips around the corner, and I think about the woman who lived there, ghost of a memory in a life I no longer recognize. I won, but it didn't feel like a victory. It just felt quiet.